Welcome. I guess if you're here, you already know that this practice is called the Superhero's Way and that my name is Linda and I am creating and performing this content. So I just wanted to talk to you about a little bit why it's called the Superhero's Way. I've played around with different ideas of how to put this out there for about 3 years now when I started a blog, which is now called Keep the Magic. And I always thought magic was my brand, but I realized that like a lot of words, magic has different meanings to different people. To me, it's like, oh, wow, it's that aha moment. To somebody else, it's a trick, which I'm not playing any tricks here. And there's actually a psychiatric diagnosis called magical thinking. So I said, yeah, well, maybe that's not going to be a good word for me to use. We have a word thing going on in the enlightenment industry, I guess, if I'm pointing that, what we could call it, where, we want to say things like your higher power, God, the universe, nature, but each one has a different meaning to everybody because we've all lived different lives. So almost any word you use for anything might have some meaning to somebody. That's why I like to bounce things around with people in person or tell stories so people can get into the imagery in my stories and not focus on, oh, she said that meant something when I was a kid and da-da-da. It's more about stories and sharing an experience, which is, I think, it's how we learn anyway. It's the positive pop. Getting back to that. Mysticism is about the connection. And I thought, well, that's kind of what I'm saying. And I decided on practical mysticism since it's about really putting our center self into the real world, putting that connection with whatever you want to call it into practical, okay? So I thought, I really got this. I actually launched some of this platform we're on right now under the name Practical Mysticism. Whoa, ho, nobody else was using it. I did this, and I ran it by a branding person I really respect, and they said, what does that mean? But bump. That was done. So I had been playing with superhero as concept in a few pieces I was working on for presentations. And I love it because this is something that everybody has understood in a positive way at some point in their life. We knew Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. Actually, Sherlock Holmes is one of my favorite superheroes. I love things like Star Trek and Lord of the Rings. Yeah, nerd girl, woohoo, fessing up. But I never thought it was going to be the thing. But it kept popping into my mind. I want to call it the Superhero's Way. And that's kind of riffing on Julia Cameron's wonderful book called The Artist's Way that I highly recommend to everybody. And I thought it was too close. But here I am. I've got these platforms going out. I've got to change the name to something. And it just kept popping into my head. And I said, oh, just push the button and do it. And you're going to live with it no matter what. Just take your minute. So I pushed the button. And you know what? Right when I did it, I felt great. So there's a lesson in here. When you choose something, no matter what condition you're in when you're making that choice, if that choice feels, deep breath, really feels right after you've done it, you did the right thing. So here we are doing the right thing, the superhero's way. But I just want to go back to the mysticism thing because some people define it as being mystified, mystification, something that's clouding you from the truth. And that's the exactly opposite of it. So I think today what I'm going to do is create a tagline for this, demystifying mysticism. It's not a name, but let's say we are what are we doing? We are demystifying mysticism, almost lost it there, the superhero's way, because that's how we're doing it. We're jumping right in here. We're leaping those tall buildings in a single bound. We're believing in ourselves. And I hope it's going to be a lot of fun for everybody. I try to share through stories because I think that's, if you can see my story, that's where your aha moments are going to come from. That's where mine came from. I'm telling you all real stuff from my real life or other people's when I've heard it. And a few insights. And anyway, I really hope you enjoy the podcast. They're all free here on Spreaker. I also, if you check out my web store at Square, well, everything is called the Superhero's Way. So you can connect through Facebook, Instagram, here on Spreaker, which Lovely shares it on YouTube and SoundCloud, a couple other places. And just find me anywhere. I also have some meditations I'm creating. Very excited. The next one is based on Star Trek. So please jump in to the Superhero's Way, any social media platform, and I look forward to hanging with you and maybe sharing some of your stories too. Ciao for now.